Welcome to the Sundial Hotel and welcome to Whistler. My name is Rich. I run a company here called RichLife, which is fitness and yoga boot camps. Feel free to come to my yoga classes here at the Sundial on a Tuesday and Thursday morning and a Friday at midday. Now, Whistler is an amazing town. The ski hill is fantastic, but it can be a big assault on the body. So it's important to prepare the body, to stretch the body for recovery so that you can go hard for longer, recover quicker when you're on the mountain to get the most out of your ski holiday. And you've been on the mountain, the legs, the glutes have worked really, really hard. What happens in the body is those muscles become tight. Now, as I said before, we want to ski again the next day. We want to go hard. We want to have that fun. So giving yourself a stretch, some recovery, very, very beneficial for the next day so you can maintain the fun and enjoyment of your holiday and out on the slopes. So I'm going to run through a very simple flow that is going to work and stretch, release, and lengthen the hip flexors in particular, the hamstrings. We'll also get into the back with a few twists and a few extensions. Again, when we're skiing, we're constantly compressing the spine. So yoga is amazing to extend the spine and get us back into a normal, natural, good postural position. We will start with this post-ski session with a simple downward dog. Once again, the feet have been really, really tight in the ski boots, so we pedal out the feet, getting movement into the calves. From here, bring your right leg up into the air behind you, step it through into a low lunge. So back knee is on the ground, place your hands on your front knee and bring all your weight forward. It's okay for the knee to come over the toes. You'll hear a lot the hip flexors. I've got tight hip flexors. Now, hip flexors are pounding out on the mountain. So this is where we need to release and focus on these in particular muscles. Three muscles in particular, the psoas muscle, the TFL, and the rectus, the biceps femoris, which is one of your quadricep muscles. From here, raise your hands towards the ceiling. Maybe even come into a slight back bend if that feels okay for you. Then to intensify, we will raise the back knee off the ground. And again, left hand down, right hand up, we twist. And then come back down. From here, place your back knee on the ground, straighten your front leg, pulling your toes towards you, half splits, getting into your hamstring. Now, the focus here, we don't need to be hunched over. We want to keep as straight a spine as possible. You should feel the stretch in the hamstring, maybe even the back of the knee. Focus on pulling the toes towards you. From here, come forward, low lunge once again. Then place the hands back down and step back into your downward dog. Pedal the feet left and right, getting that release in the ankles. And then we'll move to the other side, raising the left leg into the air, step it through, low lunge, back knee on the ground. And we follow the same process. All the weight forward. Feeling a deep stretch in the hip flexors, the groin area. Then raising the hands all the way towards the ceiling. Slight back bend. This feels good. But with the back bend, it's not coming from the lower back, it's coming from the thoracic spine. So you're extending up and growing tall in the spine and then backwards. Once again, then bring the back knee off the ground to intensify. Right hand down, left hand up, twist the spine. Hands back down, back knee down, sit back half splits. Now these postures, depending on how much time you have, I would recommend at least 45 45 seconds to a minute on each of these postures. Now don't go easy on yourself. Take yourself out of the comfort zone. You will get out what you put in. Then come forward, low lunge once again. Place your hands down on the ground and step back, downward facing dog. From here, still concentrating on the hips, raise your right leg into the air and place your right foot outside of your right hand. Bring your back knee to the ground and just stay here. You've got your knee connected to your shoulder. Now you can stay here, it's an intense stretch, or to modify, you can start to come down onto your forearms. With yoga, yoga is not yoga without breath. So an advancement to take this away from the simplicity of stretching is to breathe heavily and deeply with every posture, especially when they get intense. You breathe deeply to calm, to distract. From here, come back onto your palms, slightly turn your toes out so they're facing 2 o'clock on the clock face. From here, come onto the outer edge of your front foot, and then again, option to stay here or to slightly lower down. Now this lizard pose here is an intense stretch for the hips. I suggest holding this for a minute or so. Breathe really deeply, relax the hips. Now there is an option, you can either stay or come back onto your palms, and to intensify, take your right hand back, reach for your back foot, pull the back foot into the body, and then open your chest. You'll feel an intense stretch in the quadricep. There is a hip flexor muscle called the psoas. The psoas is buried deep, deep down. It connects the pelvis onto the lower back, and it's hard to get to, but this posture here hits that hip flexor, it lengthens it. From here, release. Heel toe your front foot back to center. Place your back foot on the ground, slightly turned out, and then straighten your front leg. Pyramid pose. Again, getting deep into the hamstrings. This is not about getting your hands to the ground. Keep a straight spine. Then bring a small bend into your front knee. Place the hands, step back, downward facing dog. And we go for the other side. Raise your left leg into the air. Place it outside of your left hand, back knee to the ground. Shoulder and knee connection. Option to lower down onto your forearms. That full foot is on the ground, facing 12 o'clock on the clock face. Once again, the second modification is to turn the toes out to 10 o'clock on the clock face and come onto the outer edge of the front foot. Then lower down if it is there for you. You'll be amazed to find how your body will develop and adapt into a posture if you give it time and some patience. Option to stay there, hold it for a minute or so, or take your left hand, grab hold of your back foot, pull it into the body to activate and lengthen the psoas muscle, and then open your chest. To intensify this, you can use that left foot and push into your hand, almost creating a tug of war with yourself. Release, come forward, heel toe the front foot back to the center of your mat. Place your back foot slightly turned out and straighten your front leg, once again, pyramid pose. So the leg is not completely locked. There's a softness to the front knee, but there should be a real lengthening in the hamstring, a sensation that you'll know you're in the posture. Place your hands down onto the ground, step your back foot in, and bring your feet hip distance apart, or the space of 2 fists. Interlock your peace fingers around your big toes, and then pull your head, your scalp towards the ground by bending your elbows out to the side. We're still focusing here on hamstrings. So obviously skiing is a pounding on the lower body, the big muscle groups. Make sure you relax your head here, nod your head yes, shake it no, and bring as much of a bend into your knees as you can for you to get your chest to touch onto your thighs. If you are there with that chest-thigh connection, then straighten your legs to get more out of the hamstrings. Then release your fingers, raise your toes off the ground and place your palms underneath your feet. Again, relax your head, your torso is heavy. Bring a bend into your right knee and straighten your left leg. And then switch to the other side, bend in the left knee, straight in the right leg. Come back to center, drop your head a little lower. As the muscle fibers adapt into the stretch and they start to feel comfortable, that's when you push a little bit further. You're in a safe place here. Take your hands from underneath. Take a halfway lift, straighten your spine. Place your hands back down on the ground and step back, downward facing dog. Raise your right leg into the air behind you. Then step it through. Rise up into your warrior two, only for a second here. Then straighten your front leg. Hinge forward from the hips until you can go no further. Bring your right hand to the outer edge of your ankle and your left hand up into the air. Once again, both legs are straight, but knees are soft. Rise up, warrior two, and then turn your foot to be parallel with your left foot. Pigeon your toes slightly in. From here, forward fold, all the way down to the ground. Placing your hands on the ground. This posture, you feel it in the hamstrings, the groin. Play with your weight, rock forward, rock back. You can maybe take the peace fingers around the big toes once again and use that connection to pull yourself further down to the ground. From here, place your hands flat on the ground, bend into your left knee, take your weight out to the left, low side lunge. And take it out to the other side, bend in the right knee, weight over to the right. Come back to center. Curl all the way back up. Turn the front foot, warrior two. Reverse the warrior. And then come all the way down to the ground, back into your downward facing dog. Very simple, we repeat on the other side. Try and keep the same time period on the right side and the left side. So from here, we lift the left leg up into the air. We place it through, rising up, warrior two, straighten the front leg, hinge forward from the hips, down triangle pose here, trying to get a beautiful line from the floor through your lower arm, through the top hand towards the ceiling. Then slight micro bend into the front knee, rise up, warrior two, swivel your left foot parallel to your right, and once again, forward fold. Option here to interlock your fingers behind your back and raise your hands as far away from your back as you can. Or simply, with every exhale, try and lower your scalp closer to the ground. And again, bend your knees as much as you need to. Then slowly curl your spine all the way back up to stand. Turn your left foot forward. Warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Bring the hands down onto the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. From here, raise the right leg into the air behind you and place your right knee on the floor outside of your right wrist. Trying to bring your left foot as close to your left wrist as possible. Bring your back knee to the ground and then lower down onto your forearms. This is called pigeon pose. If there was one posture that I could do for the rest of my life, this one would be it. Keep your back toe tucked. The purpose of this is so that you can have a connection to square your hips. So pushing your left hip forward and your right hip back. Again, this is a posture that needs to be done for a period of time. 1 to 3 minutes would be very beneficial. You can intensify by extending your arms long and placing your forehead on your mat. From here, slide the hands back into the body and release back into downward facing dog. Left side, raise the left leg into the air behind you. Left knee outside of left wrist and then lower down. Now you might find a variation in one side of your body to the other that is completely normal. When we're skiing, we generally favor one side. So don't be surprised if you feel a tightness in one area than the other. But if you do feel a tightness on one side in particular, maybe spend a little bit of extra time on that side. Again, extending the arms down long, maybe the forehead to the ground. Placing your hands back, coming up into a downward facing dog. From here, step the feet outside of the hands, come into your low squat position, deep into the hips. Then place your hands back behind you and sit down. Lie all the way back. Raise your hips into the air, bridge pose, walk your shoulders underneath. Squeeze the glutes, getting your hips really high. Again, as in skiing or if we're working at a desk or driving a car or even on a laptop or on our iPhone, we're always in a position of flexion in the spine. Here we extend the spine to get us back into postural alignment. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Keep raising the hips on your inhale, and on your exhale, push that right knee down towards the ground. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, right knee drops. Place the right foot down on the ground. Left ankle on top of your right knee. Raise the hips up high. Push the left heel down, or left knee down. And then release. Bring the spine all the way down to the ground. Come into happy baby here. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Elbows on the inside. Soles of your feet facing the ceiling. And pull your knees down to the earth. Try and get as much of your lower back onto the ground as possible. And you can try and do this by pushing into your hands. From here, keep hold of your right foot, but extend your left leg onto the ground. Half happy baby. Bring them all the way back into full happy baby and switch to the other side. Full happy baby here. Bring your knees into chest. Rock and roll the length of your spine up to a seated position. Place the sole of your right foot into your left elbow crease. Foot is flexed, hand round the front, interlock the fingers, and pull your right leg into the body. Deep stretch on the outer hip. Release the foot and go for the other side. Being nice and tall in the spine. From here, lower down. Lie all the way back. Bring your right knee into your chest. Take your left hand on top of the knee and shift your hips 3 inches to the right. From here, use that left hand to pull the right knee across the body. Take your gaze out to the right. And a lovely twist into the spine, and then we go for the other side. So again, left knee in, right hand on top of the knee. Bring your hips 3 inches out to the left, and then pull across the body. Gaze to the left. Come back to center. Hug your knees into chest. Then if you have the time, the most important part of yoga is the deep rest at the end, the Shavasana. Hold this position for 2 to 3 minutes to calm the body. And when you're ready, come all the way up to a seated position. And your post-ski workout is done. So follow those simple postures, follow that flow after skiing, or you can come to my yoga classes on a Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7 a.m. or midday on Friday, and join the Rich Life community here at the Sundial. Have a wonderful holiday, ski hard on the slopes, and I hope to see you soon.